About it is that man on the screen right there, Pete Buttigieg, who is the transportation secretary, who we have also learned took a couple of months of paternity in the middle of this crisis. Well, he's apparently back now, just as the crisis is ramping up, Congressman. And here's part of what he said to our own Bret Baier when asked about the delays and these, quote, high-class problems, as a Biden economist put it. This is how he responded. Take a listen.
So are new parents and any parent going to get the toys that they want to get for Christmas?
Well, I know that I'll be very excited to shop for the first Christmas for my new kids. Remember, you can't talk about supply without talking about demand.
Right.
Part of the reason we are where we are is that the president successfully brought this economy out of the teeth of a recession.
So you're saying
People are buying more than ever before. We're seeing record goods coming through our ports. The demand is there, which is great news. It represents a policy success. Now we got to make sure those supply chains are there to support it.
So you're saying that's a high-class problem?
What I'm saying is that we are better off because the economy is growing, and the economy is growing thanks to the leadership of this president.
Congressman, I got to believe that inspires as much faith for you as it does for us.
Well, listen, I mean, now we know why there was all these problems in the Soviet Union and Cuba where there's nothing on the shelf. It's because it's a demand problem, right? Yes. I mean, that's the problem, man, okay? I mean, there's a demand problem. If people just stopped demanding anything, all of these things would be on the shelf. And so that is so ludicrous. It's unbelievable that the Secretary of Transportation could say that it is demand problem and this great economy that we have right now. You know, we've had a great economy under the Trump administration, and the Biden administration has, every decision they've made has backfired on them. Every decision that they've made has really hurt the American people. Look, I was speaking to a couple of executives. One, an executive of an airline with for cargo, an executive for an airline with passengers, and they're deadly afraid of this vaccine mandate that's now coming down, where they've got these supply problems, and we got to get as many pilots, as many truck drivers, as many port workers on the job as possible. Now you're going to have this vaccine mandate that says to them that they have to fire, hundreds of their workers at this time, in this critical time, when we have the holiday season coming. So, it just shows the insensitivity of this administration to the working people of America. It's an insult.
It's an insult, and it's incompetence. What a great observation. Little did we know that when we see barren shelves in Venezuela, that it's a demand problem.
Who knew? I mean, my God. I mean, we just found out today. Pete Buttigieg has figured it out, what's going on in Venezuela and in the old Soviet Union and Cuba and all those other communist socialist countries that can't get the goods and the products that their people want to the shelves because, well, those people shouldn't want them. Then, heck, all those shelves would be full.
Who knew might have been Democratic politicians, because I'd be fascinated to know, if we look back in history at Venezuelan politicians or Soviet politicians, how they explained their empty store shelves. Were they blaming it at that time on demand problems? So in other words, had the playbook been written for how you deal with such a situation? But let's